All right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
how are we gonna do this?
Ready?
What's the card? How are we
Ready?
doing this?
Just we'll start with Fyter Fest 1 and 2. So, but I'll do introductions. All right. So we
Sounds
good.
good. I'm
So
ready.
hey everyone, it's Maria from Beat 'em Up Wrestling. I'm here, one half of Beat 'em Up. I kicked Jack out to the side for a little bit, and I invited two of my good friends, my top 1% male and female cohorts. I'll let them introduce themselves. They also have their own podcast, their own things that they do in the wrestling fandoms and everything. But yeah, they're definitely good friends, and I'm glad I've met them of recently. And yeah, we thought this would be fun. So go ahead, Caro, want to take it away?
Yeah, hi, I'm Caro, and I'm with Wrestlejoy, and I also do some gaming on the side as well, and I'm really excited to be here on Beat 'em Up. It's my first time here, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Todd, don't be
Yes!
mad.
It is I! I've been expecting. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong movie. Yes, I am the Super Fro Todd Black. You're welcome. And I'm with a lot of sites actually, but
Yeah.
in terms of wrestling wise, I am the host of the 450 Wrestling Podcast, where we always make a splash on wrestling. I have also written a wonderful piece for Beat 'em Up.
Yep.
About All In and how that got me into the Elite and eventually All Elite Wrestling. And a teaser, I will be writing up a piece about a certain freshly squeezed fellow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
yeah.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fresh
and
squeezed.
I also
Yeah.
might be working on something for Beat 'em Up soon.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that.
Yes, yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, definitely. We like having fun, so I hope you guys can join us again. To maybe we can do a Fight for the Fallen or something. Maybe All Out if it's a thing. It probably will be announced. I think it will be.
Well, it's already been announced. It's not going to be in an arena.
It's kind of been like a soft announce. It hasn't really been like boom.
Yeah, it's in September. We don't have a date, and we obviously don't know if it's going to be in an arena or not. Right now, not looking good.
It's not looking good, which is sad because I was planning on going to All Out this year.
Yeah, I was planning as well. So.
Well, I mean, if people get under control, we have just put it out there. It's Warrior Wrestling. Brian Cage will be at Marion High School. Same thing with Kylie Ray, a Warhorse. So they're trying to do wrestling in the Chicagoland area. So the Sears Center isn't technically in Chicago. Maybe we have some positive vibes. But with that, so let's get into our Fyter Fest card for night number 1.
Yeah.
Start off with a huge ass bang. It was Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus from the Jurassic Express with MJF and Wardlow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So to just start this off, like to go back to Double or Nothing, I loved the match with MJF.
Yeah.
And I thought that was excellent. That was one of my surprise hits of the night.
If it wasn't for Stadium Stampede, that would have been match of the night.
Oh, yeah. And going into Fyter Fest and seeing the MJF Luchasaurus matches come up, I was just so excited to see this. Like I already had like really good expectations going into it, and I just loved the energy. It did not disappoint.
No.
Great opening to night 1. Excellent.
And it's once again, go ahead.
No, please go.
No, I'll just say it just showcases the future talent of the organization.
Absolutely.
Like you could see mega superstardom from MJF and Jungle Boy, and I'm all here for the slow rise of greatness that we're gonna see in a few years. I mean, we're seeing it now, but I just love them. I love them so much. And Jungle Boy, he's not like a sleeper star because everybody loves him, but it's like you don't know the dedication and the hard work he's doing outside of the ring. Because when you see him in the ring, you're like, holy crap, how did he get another level better? And I love seeing that from him. But yes, Todd, go ahead.
This match should not have been as good as it was, and that's not an insult, but it's like this is kind of an atypical tag team, and they even noted this was MJF's and Wardlow's first time tag teaming together versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, who had been tag teaming off and on with Marco, and you're like, well, how is this gonna top Double or Nothing? How could this be as good as the War of Monsters that we had a little bit ago with Wardlow versus Luchasaurus? And yet they find a way.
Yeah.
But then the best thing for me wasn't just the back and forth. It wasn't just, Wardlow doing the swanton and everything and Jungle Boy and MJF just continuing to be awesome. But the storytelling inside of it with like Wardlow almost getting hit with the ring and then getting hit with the ring and then Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus winning. I thought for sure they would have had MJF winning, continuing his, flapping his gums before they put him against Moxley, because we all know that's what they're going to do, and said, no, we're going to give it to Jungle Boy, which is great because a lot of people, including some of my crew on the 450, were like, we love Jungle Boy. He keeps losing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
including at Double or Nothing, where he lost to MJF clean. And yet here they won. It's like, dig it. Love it.
It's just really fascinating that they gave MJF like a loss in the context of a conflict with Wardlow, which is something that was alluded in a previous Dynamite episode. So it was just really nice to see Jungle Boy get that win, but also MJF lose for once.
Well, wait a minute.
No,
he didn't lose. He's still undefeated, which he is
Quote
in
unquote.
singles competition. But in tag team competition, he has never been pinned or submitted. So
No, yeah, and this match was amazing, like you guys said. It also proved a little bit more people. When Luchasaurus first came onto the scene, he had a hamstring injury. He came back. He was a little slower. People were, saying he had 3 moves, 4 moves, 5 moves. He came back. He was quicker. He was faster in this match, and it was like the Luchasaurus we saw right at the beginning. And so I felt like I don't know if he felt confident or he kicked it into high gear or what it was, but I don't know, the level of excitement night one started off with was insane. And
can we just we need to lament one thing, and Maria, I know you and I have talked about this in the past. It's just sad in the objective sense that AEW doesn't have any big men. Just so sad. Till they said it all. I mean, where's the 7'2", 500-pound giants? I mean, what's with these guys doing shooting star presses and swantons and kip ups in the middle of a match? I mean, this isn't big men.
I mean, it's not like we have a flipping machine now.
No,
absolutely not. No,
absolutely not.
Oh, definitely not.
God.
Oh, gosh.
I had
no such thing. No such thing.
I had to plug that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, if we did, I would flip out. But
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Flip Gordon.
Just me and Maria go.
I know, right?
No. Don't you mean me and Maria go? Ah!
So sweet. Anyway.
MJF.
No.
So,
don't even joke about that. Don't even.
So yeah, definitely a good way to start off night one. And it keeps going. We have the next match with Hikaru Shida's women's title match with Penelope Ford. I like this match because even though Penelope Ford has been put into these matches due to other circumstances, I felt like Penelope has been getting better. She's rising to the occasion. Her ring gear was amazing. She was spot on. I didn't see too many missteps from her. I thought this was one of her best outings on a bigger platform, at being a pay-per-view that we had. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I like when Shida comes in and she's just mad. She's all like full limit bar, Shida, and she's just angry, what I mean?
Don't you mean Hikaru Tifa?
Yeah, Hikaru
Tifa.
Nice. I'm still waiting for her to do a move called Final Heaven.
She will. Give her time.
I keep tweeting it at her, and it's just like, it's right there.
Find a way to say it in Japanese. So make sure
I would find a way.
But I've always seen Penelope Ford as one of the more underappreciated women on the roster. I've always liked her talent and skill, and I just didn't think that she had like enough of the spotlight to really show that off. So for one thing, I was really happy that she was able to have this match with Shida. And she's also from Philly Pride.
I did not know that.
Philly, so.
Oh, girl.
This was hands down Penelope's best match in AEW. And
absolutely.
I mean, she had a good match with Riho, and then of course the mixed tag match on the Jericho Cruise, which was official, unofficial.
Oh, that was.
But every other time, like when she did the Poison Rana on Chris Statlander and botched it to high heaven, or when she went up against Britt in the 4-way and like they were like standing around waiting for Penelope to do her move, you could see kind of the greenness in her. And she's not inexperienced, but there's a difference between having the experience and being able to perform every night. Where this, I thought she was flawless on the night, and the way they worked Kip in, he was thrown out, but then he came back. Caro went whack, and and all was right in the world. And then the Matrix move on the when Hikaru was doing the drop kick, that was perfect.
Right.
And since you guys or gals fawned over the guys earlier, I will go officially Hikaru.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah, she's my dream waifu in AEW, and Asuka's mine in the E, which clearly means I have a type, and that's fine. Both are amazing women, and both can break me in half, which I'm fine with as well. But
Talented as hell, man.
oh, in every way, absolutely, and stunning and talented. I mean, Hikaru on the piano, my gosh, which is perfect because you have
Yes.
one behind you, Maria. But no, the match was very good. It was a good follow-up to Nyla. I mean, yes, we knew that there was no way Hikaru was going to lose, but that didn't hurt it because they gave Penelope the strength, if you will, to show that she matches up. Like when she did the knee into the Falcon Arrow and she kicked out. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, they wouldn't. And then, Hikaru drills her again and then it was over. But like the giving her that kick out speaks volumes to say like, we trust her enough to show that she's not weak, which is something that some people have said, like, oh yeah, Penelope, she looks like a bombshell, but she's kind of botchy in the moves, but whatever. But that night was perfect. And Hikaru, of course, made her look even better. And so I don't know where she goes from here. The women's roster, and we've noticed this on Twitter to each other, is kind of in a difficult spot because Britt's hurt, Chris is hurt, B is in England, Yuka's in Japan. I don't know where Riho. Riho's in Japan. Okay,
Riho's
there
in
you
Japan.
go. Shauna is back in Europe.
Back because on that Go to TV thing, they did a homecoming episode with
I saw that.
Right.
And Emmy was like upset, and the other guy was translating, and I think she's coming back, and I think she's coming back for a while.
Good.
So she might be in a transition area. So. Yeah, I was really enjoying that.
Yeah. So,
way more than I didn't understand nothing.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the hell out of it.
But yeah, like they're doing their best with what they can and giving Penelope this chance to step up on this big stage and show that she's going to be, a force to be reckoned with, especially in the future. Is good. And so I don't know who they're going to put Hikaru up against next because kind of a thin pool right now. That's not an insult. It's just a fact. But for that match, it was really, really good. So
put her up against Abaddon.
Oh yeah. We need the Abaddon rematch. I mean, dear gosh, that woman.
I love her.
I love that acquisition from AEW. Great move on their part.
Yeah, that was a good one. Like I had no idea who she was before she fought Hikaru, and that match was so much. And that was on Dark, and and yet everyone was talking about it. And everyone's like, "Hire Abaddon, dang it!" Then Abaddon comes out and kills Anna Jay, and So and now I was like, "We want Abaddon back. Where is she?" So. I would not mind a rematch. So let's do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we get into the AEW TNT Championship match against Cody against Jake Hager. Yeah. This was I was mixed about this match only because it feels like I've seen the same Cody matches with somebody interfering from the outside. There's always there's just something that distracts the flow of the match, and I miss seeing Cody versus Darby Allin where it's just an actual match and it's just straight through and it's amazing, it's competitive, it's athletic. And I don't know if this is just a little foreshadowing of some sort of faction that's happening, as he's been mentioning. So he's been mentioning things about, the Elite wasn't there for him. Even his Nightmare family wasn't there for him. So these are little foretelling signs that we might see something come from Cody. And I hope it is that.
I agree with that, yeah.
You could say he's tired of horsing around.
Stop. That's the second time.
No, I have not used that pun all night. I have not used that pun all night. Okay.
Todd.
Two. The third time, don't make us.
Don't make you what? You will not do anything to your top 1% friend.
Yeah. I also agree with you, Maria. I'm seeing some sort of foreshadowing with Cody, whether that's joining a new faction, whether that's him turning. There's something there.
Yeah.
Something's going on with Cody.
This was say Darby, it's Cody. This was for me one of my least favorite matches of both nights. It wasn't terrible, not even close. But especially after seeing him going up toe to toe with Jungle Boy and then Ricky Starks, who had a really good debut. This one just felt a little more tame. And then Arn Anderson, I don't know why he was so into it, him standing in front of the post going, "You're not doing that tonight," and then he steps when Cody throws him into you just said, I don't know. And again, it wasn't bad. And then that finish, the camera angle was just horrible for that finish because you're like, what's going on? The ref counts 1, 2, 3, and it's over. And then Jake is like, I won, even though you can clearly hear his music or Cody's music playing in the background.
Then you hear the da 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 da, and we're like, what?
And then he knocks out the ref, and it's like, oh, you're suspended for 10 days. It's like, yeah, fine.
Okay,
sure.
I thought that part was pretty funny though. He just knocks him out.
Yeah, it wasn't the best match. It's not the worst though, and the whole setup for this thing was weird because Jake comes out and he's like, "Oh, you want a match at Fyter Fest? Done!" And like, wait a minute, you said that you're defending it every week, and then he fights Ricky Starks the next week, and then he doesn't defend it the next week, which means Cody lied.
Yeah,
you lied.
But also, you say the build up to this match is weird. Like, it had a press conference. Like a very pompous like build up. So when I see a match that has like a press conference, I expect it to be like main event status on the card.
Yeah, high caliber.
Which I thought was really like weird.
Yeah. So it was a little lacklustered after when you have that. Yeah, really good point, Caro. Like definitely. Like
his best title match so far with the title was Jungle Boy, which is great because you want to start out strong, but and again, Ricky was good, and Mark Quinn, that one was good,
right?
But like some of these you can just tell he's not going to lose. Like he was never going to lose to Ricky. He was never going to lose to Mark Quinn.
I don't think he's going to lose for a while.
Like if it's an open challenge, it doesn't have to be AEW. He needs, and something has to happen. If it's not like Nick Aldis or something that's crazy that comes out and makes it some amazing statement and redoes what they did in All In, I'm going to be like, what is the purpose of this title with you right now? It needs to be defining and crazy.
I'm going to throw out a name.
Is it Warhorse?
No.
If it has to be Warhorse.
But we all know Cody fears Warhorse. Okay, there's a hashtag in everything.
Hashtag Cody fears Warhorse.
Exactly, there's a hashtag.
Jack actually started that, and then he did the GIF, and it went crazy. And now every day I see Warhorse. And
there
Cody.
You go. So, but no, the name I'm throwing out, EC3.
No, I think he's going to be at Slammiversary.
But he did tease in one of his promo videos. He's like, you've been warned. Now it could be a fake out, but he would be great in AEW. I really believe that. So
yeah, he never got the push he deserved. He was a really good talent in Impact. Yeah, definitely, I could see that.
He was like the headliner of Impact. He was a random guy in NXT, got hurt, was released. That was fine. Went to Impact, became Ethan Carter III. Was their main champ, was like their biggest star, went to NXT, everyone was hyped, nothing. Like he had one title match, and that was at the North American ladder match. He had one major feud, that was against Velveteen, which should have gone a lot longer. And then he got called up. He had the biggest promo of the call-ups for Raw, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it would be entertaining to see Warhorse. It would be entertaining to see him. It would be entertaining to see Nick Aldis. I just think
we're getting Sunny Kiss next week.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm excited. I love Sunny Kiss.
That will be a fun match. I think that will be a fun match.
And it's going to go back to what we talked about, like Jungle Boy, Darby. It's going to be a Cody match. It's going to showcase somebody, and it's going to be a good match. But it sucks that these main caliber matches fall short.
Yeah.
And so and I love Cody. We all love Cody. So it's not we're criticizing. We just want the storyline to move on just a little bit. So,
Right, of course.
I mean, so we get into Proud and Powerful versus Private Party.
That was not one.
Yeah, this was. I thought it was a decent match. The only problems I have are Private Party. Sometimes, they look a little green sometimes, and it's mostly Isaiah a little bit. I think he just needs a little work on some of his spot moves because sometimes the timing comes off and it messes the flow of the match. I thought it was good between the two. They sold a lot of moves. I thought there was a couple of good spots. I honestly, no offense to Private Party, I rather had seen Proud and Powerful against Kenny and Hangman.
It was a curious thing. Now, part of it, as we'll discuss in night two recap, was it wasn't, they weren't supposed to have that match then.
Yeah, they weren't.
And so given that Kenny and Hangman technically already beat Proud and Powerful, and it'd be the Stampede and blah blah blah. It was fine for Private Party to get the shot because Private Party was another one where the tag team tournament happened. They beat the Young Bucks. That was the right call. But what have they done since then? And so now they can say, hey, at least we've had our title shot. Yeah. And again, we'll get to that. But I could see where you're coming from in that.
Just in retrospect, just because of the, like I said, like the level of, I'm not going to say level of talent. I'm not saying that they're not talented because they are. You know,
Yeah,
especially
totally
Mark
are.
Of
They're the
Quinn.
course,
future.
absolutely.
Mark
They're
Quinn's
the future.
amazing, you know. But I think we wouldn't have seen the slip ups that we'll get to a little bit. It was a little haphazardly when it opened up that match with Private Party and Hangman and Kenny. So that's my 2 cents on it. But yeah, I thought it was an okay match. It wasn't like a big standout match, but I liked it.
It was a nice match that leads into like the rest of the card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
It was fine.
It was a fine match. But hey, let's settle a debate because I've been hearing this on the old interwebs, and of course if it's on the internet, you know it
Yes,
must
go
be
ahead.
true.
Mhm.
All right. Better Private Party theme song. It's a private party or shots. Because I like the original. I love the original. And then everybody.
I love the original too.
Yeah, and then they changed over, and our good friend Mikey Ruckus was like, "Oh yeah, apparently people didn't like the first one, and so we redid because evolving songs." And I'm like,
Really?
"Who didn't like the first one?"
Really? Because I love singing Private Party's theme at
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
events.
I thought it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I didn't really understand. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I got excited, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't my jam.
Yeah, I prefer the first one because it ties into Justin Roberts with from a location where you need an invitation, yeah, and then the song is blasting and you are all invited, and you got the bouncer letting him in with a rope, and shots was cool.
Like it was a nice first impression for like Private Party, not only to like me but like to other people in the audience, because you hear that song and you're like, yo, yeah. All right, yeah. I'm with Private Party. Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
I'm hip. It's like, where's the gin and juice? Come on.
All right, so we had the small promo. We already know about it. They came out. They confirmed that Mox match was going to happen. It was going to be postponed. And so that little promo for that. But then we get into the title matches: Kenny Omega, Hangman Page versus the Best Friends
with Trent's mom.
With Trent's mom.
Trent's mom is the MVP of that entire match.
Entire match.
Please, entire night, girl. Come on.
Yes, Trent. Yes.
Entire night.
What a wholesome entrance. I loved it. It put a big smile on my face.
Because think about this in the objective standard. All right. When you think about entrances, you're trying to set the tone. You're trying to set the standard. Like, think about Kenny at Wrestle Kingdom, where he came out to Undertale dressed as the one-winged angel with even the finger point going on. You think of Cody with the epic prelude rising from the ground. And then you have Trent and Chuck T coming in a minivan driven by Trent's mom. And you're like, yeah, I can get behind that. I can get behind
His face was so serious.
Yeah, and then he gets the kiss from his mom. He's like, I'm winning this for you, Mom. He lied, but it's the thought that counts.
He gave his best effort.
Yeah, this match was amazing.
It was a good match.
Yeah, I want Trent to be a singles competitor, but I like the Best Friends. So I'm conflicted because Trent is so good. He's such a damn good wrestler.
He is shined in AEW in both singles and tag team competition. Right. Whether he goes single, I could see that. It just depends because what would he be? Because remember, he was actually a singles wrestler in the E, and then he eventually met up with Chuck T, and they were best friends. And that actually my first ever Young Bucks match that I ever watched was Ring of Honor Bucks versus Best Friends, and that helped start the path that I was on. That was actually the show I referenced in my All In article. Yeah. So, but I could see him be singles, but right now he's good as a tag team and best friends. They don't get the credit they deserve. During the lockdown, they had as many tag team matches as anybody.
Yeah.
They held the line. Mm-hmm. Singles, tag team, all of it. They were there to help keep AEW going on dark, on regular, and so everyone's like, why did they get this tag team match? Because they were there.
They earned it.
They earned it. And I don't really want to believe there's an elite effect, you know what I mean? Because you didn't get these matches that you see between the elite and them. But I wouldn't have been mad. I could have seen story progression between Kenny and Hangman if they would have dropped the titles.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing with the storyline progression that they're doing with Kenny and Hangman. I'm on the edge of my seat, literally every week, because I'm waiting for the turn, because I know the turn is going to happen. Yep. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, because they've been.
Thought it might be Revolution when they faked the super kick, and it's like, no. And then Hangman out in the woods getting drunk. That didn't happen
when
there.
Hangman was on the ramp, looking back at Kenny, I was like, "Don't you dare!" I was like literally five.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, "Don't you dare jump over that rope and hit Kenny." I was gonna
Yeah.
lose it, and like I couldn't handle it. So I do agree with you on that. But they could have had a rematch of best friends. They could have still made it a slow progress, a work in progress thing between their friendship. But either way, we're gonna get a huge payoff, and it's gonna be heartbreaking, and it's gonna be entertaining.
Yeah.
I love his
It's gonna
wish
be a
list
work
that
of
Kenny
art.
has. I'm all for that with the glasses.
Yeah.
We'll give him a toast and say have a good summer.
Yeah.
Well, you'll want to toast Kenny with milk.
No.
Don't
I
forget-
drink milk, so I'd be in
Good.
Kenny party anyway.
2% is best.
I have that in my fridge right there.
Good.
So.
All right, so this leads us into night 2.
Wait, can I say one more thing about night 1?
Yeah.
So this is something I actually caught when it happened, and I think AEW did this on purpose. So when FTR came out after the match, and Ken poured out the beer.
Yeah.
Everyone, arguing and stuff. There's a moment, and I tweeted about this. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but there's a moment where the camera is doing a shot where it's Adam on one side and everyone else on the other. This mirrors what happened at Revolution because it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And I know that's something promotions like New Japan, because New Japan loves doing that stuff a lot, which is great. And I would like to believe that that was not on
No.
Oh no,
I'm sure it was
that's anime type thing where you see all of a sudden you see the shadow of a villain standing somewhere else with somebody else and you're like, oh wait, what does that mean? Oh, villain. So totally.
Yeah.
No, Jack caught that when we were watching it, and then when I saw you post, I was like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, because I blinked and I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I saw you were talking about it, I was like, oh.
I was like,
yeah.
Well, yeah, night 2.
Night 2.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny and Hangman versus
Fyter
Party.
One.
Like I said, there was a couple of missteps when Kenny threw Isaiah, I think it was, by Hangman. He kind of didn't get him right. There was a part where I think Isaiah missed a jump. There was a couple little things that I saw. It wasn't too bad. I think the momentum was a little too fast at some points. But I don't know if they looked tired because I don't know if they knew this was going to be planned or how far in advance they had it planned out. I didn't think this was the holy crap start we got to night 1.
I
so
agree.
that kind of sucked a little bit. But it wasn't a bad match. They don't really have bad matches at AEW, which sucks to say.
Well, I can think of a few.
Well, we'll get to the rest of the card where I didn't agree with some things.
Yeah.
But
no.
Well, I will commend AEW at the very least for, and I think Tony Khan has said this before, but the opening matches at least are consistently good enough that you'll want to be hooked into the rest of the show.
Yeah.
And I think that should be the main purpose of your first match of the card. You want to give people a reason to stick around and just be like, oh, well, if you like this match, then you'll like the rest of the show.
Yeah. And there was even a kind of message about the intention of the card where night 1 was the ending was tag team wrestling, tag team titles, but then they knew they had to do the pivot because of Moxley, and so they go, hey, we don't want to bombard you, hey, 2 tag team title matches the main event, so hey, let's make it the first match, it'll be good, and then you can go into the rest of the night. So but the match was fine, Private Party did well enough. There was some the ending was really good with the the fake out and Kenny just barely, lunging through the ropes with Matt right there. And he's just because, you almost wanted Matt to just interfere. He wouldn't do it. He's unkillable that way. But he wanted him to do it because, give Private Party the chance. Just give him the chance. And then they won, and it was good. But, not the best. It wasn't as good as Best Friends match was, but it was still really good. And I'm glad.
An acceptable opening.
More than acceptable. I mean, I could think of a few wrestling shows that don't even come close to that, but we won't talk about that here.
I mean, Kenny Omega in the beginning of a show for me, it's kind of I'm going to sit there. So,
yeah.
I mean, just the sentence Kenny Omega's at the beginning of the show alone. that sentence.
Alone.
I'm yes, sitting down.
You don't even have to go that far. You don't have to go that far. Just say Kenny Omega. You're done.
No. Just say Kenny.
just say K. Okay?
No, just say
K. No, just let him look at you and not say anything at all. There you go.
Yeah, just put the small 2 seconds track intro, and that's it.
There you go.
Synthesized piano part. Anyways,
who needs a battle cry?
No, nobody. Well, Lance Archer versus Joey Janela was our next match, and I was not sure how this match was going to go. But he is the bad boy. He does hardcore matches, and I think this is probably one of my favorite Lance Archer matches because it was good.
Yeah.
Joey Janela took a beating. He didn't look weak. He sold Lance Archer. He made him fumble. There was moments where you're like, is this gonna go Joey's way? I love Sonny, Sonny Kiss having his little interference here with the 450 splash that he did.
That was
right.
That
Yeah.
was insane. And I just kept laughing because like Jake looked like he was tired standing there, like it was just too damn hot in Florida, and the man just looked like he was done. Like I just want to sit down somewhere.
Kenny noted in an interview that while he's glad that they have Daily's place, it is so freaking humid there.
Yeah, I read about that.
And you got to remember another thing. It's humid at like 8 p.m. Because remember, these are like either live or taped shows. So at the very least, they're doing it at 8 p.m. to start. And it's still humid.
Still humid.
Yep.
So,
that's the southern U.S. for you.
Yeah,
Very humid stuff.
Yeah, this match was, I did not like this match upon it being announced because they did it in the most random way with Archer attacking Sonny and Janela. And then once we get into the match, it starts out like you would expect. And then Joey just starts to get that other gear. And then you're like, okay, wait a minute, Joey's doing something here. And then they set up the table, and then he gets out of the blackout, he drops the elbow, and you're like, okay, it's good. Then Jake interferes, like, oh great, here comes Jake. But then they do the Sunny Kiss intervention, which was awesome.
Yep.
And it's like, I kind of want to believe. And then he just black out through the table, like, okay, now it's over. Now it's over. But hey, it was better than it was. I was expecting, and I'm glad that Joey Janela is another one of the more courses that he doesn't get enough credit. Even though we remember not even a year ago where he had not just a match against Moxley that was lights out and 4 stars, but a Kenny match that was so good on Dark, it got a rematch on the Dynamite because they wanted people to experience the power of Janela.
I love Janela. I love his work. I love his ethic. He's just been working so hard in AEW, and it's just really nice to not only see him with Lance Archer, but just to have like a tag team with Sunny Kiss.
Yeah,
like Janela and Sunny Kiss. Yes, give
Bad romance.
Yes,
bad romance.
Bad romance.
Official. Something needs to be official. Yeah. But yeah, no. Joey's work ethic, the love he has for GCW, his promoting background. Just he exudes more talent and more charisma than you see in AEW, but you're starting to see more of it, and I'm glad it's coming around more. But yeah, no, I totally on that train. I love Sunny and Joey. I hope that they go more toward the distance, as the progression of the tag team titles goes around and stuff like that. But we get into the not small. He's not small at all. Brian Cage and Taz bringing up the
FTW title.
I mean, he is kind of a small machine. I mean, let's be honest.
He is a little small. A little small.
Yeah.
But so there's like a little bit of rumor mills that they weren't sure if exactly he had full ownership or Paul Heyman did, or did Paul Heyman say, hey, take the title because I'm kind of pissed at somebody else and use the title on this brand. There's been a lot of little rumor mills going around. Either way, I like the title. I like showing up. I thought it was cool. It looks cool to have him have a title and see Mox. I like Taz is good with promos. I don't know what else to say.
Taz is a master on the mic.
Taz is a legend. Yeah, and I for those who are still wondering about the rumors, Taz has and always had complete ownership of the FTW title. It is his thing. It is his brand. He has the trademark for it. He has the copyright for it. He can take it anywhere he wants. And so when I guess he went to Tony and said, we can bring this in, Tony was pumped. And so now we have the FTW title. And if you don't know what FTW means, look it up.
Is it unofficial? Is it official? I hope it becomes official.
Well, it's official, unofficial at present because I
know, but
what does it really mean? Oh, you're the baddest guy in the locker room. Oh, okay, sure, but is that something you're actually going to defend? Because I know a bad boy who'd want to go after that.
It could be their hardcore title. It could be their unofficial hardcore title.
I could see that.
Saying it because they don't want to be too bloody on on network and really put out their hardcore title. So I could see them using this title in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, they've done some violent matches before, but I mean, obviously they're not going to do the whole. I don't know a match where you're going to actually pull a guy's eye out. Yeah.
Oh, color.
Yeah. Blood and Guts Company. You know how it is. Definitely not a horror show.
No. So. Yeah. So we get into the best match of the night for me.
Nyla!
Shut up. No.
Oh my gosh.
It was the Butcher and the Blade.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Wait,
Fantastic.
let her finish. Let her finish the
Okay,
rundown. Come
I'm
on.
just excited. Go ahead, hurry.
Contain yourself.
The Butcher and the Blade. The Lucha Bros. Okay? FTR and the Young Bucks.
Yep.
I mean, the card speaks for itself. We could have just gone and paid for a show just to see them, and we would have done it.
It's too bad it was a 1-star match.
I know,
So
too bad. Too
so
bad.
sad.
There wasn't enough clips for me. There was enough spots.
I mean,
Phoenix didn't do like a
8-man tag matches. The E does it like every 2 shows.
No,
I mean, what could possibly be done differently here?
him doing the Canadian Destroyer off the top rope. We've seen it so many times.
Or the 2 teams that really don't like each other actually doing each other's moves in tandem when not with their assigned partner. That's not going to happen. That's story building. In an 8-man tag, come on.
They know each other too well.
Yeah, it's but I should have done a betting card because I was 100% right on each night. I knew they were going to lose. I have faith that this was going to be a progression storyline between the Bucks and FTR, even though the Bucks have been losing a lot. If you look at, they have, like, they've been losing main spots, main opportunities that they had. They're one of the few elite people that actually have lost more. Like, if you look at Kenny and Cody and everybody else, Heyman lost, the main match with Jericho and stuff like that. But besides that, it really wasn't as much. Like, I can remember the Young Bucks losing, and this was just another huge loss for them. But it wasn't a loss, like, in vain. They looked amazing. I think Matt's back and his rib are probably healed, and maybe it's going to be just a 1-year sell, no longer a 2-year sell. He looked pretty good doing his spots. But no, this was an amazing match. I'm just happy the Lucha Bros are back and Pentagon's back on American soil, and we have him.
Yes.
Love him so much. What are your guys' thoughts?
This match, I
ahead.
kind of put it in the same realm as Janela and Archer when I first heard about it, because especially when the card started to get really filled up, because I was like, they should have 4 matches per night. I was telling this on the 450. They should have 4 matches per night, each match in a 30-minute block. So they can do 20-minute matches, then do a promo, a commercial, and be fine. And so I was worried about this match because with all the talent in there, and yes, Butcher Blade have talents. Shut up. No, not you two, let's talk about the internet. Because we know the internet's listening to us, obviously. Yeah. So
they're underappreciated, the Butcher and the Blade.
They are.
They are. Yeah.
And so I was like,
people don't get it. They're like, they're just kind of big jobbers. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
I think it's just the fact that they're just underneath, or at least they're buried underneath the rest of the tag team division's talents. And that's not a bad thing because the tag team division, again,
it's stacked.
So talented.
It's stacked.
So talented. As seen in this match.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But anyway, so I came into this match thinking, okay, I expect it to be good enough. I am not a fan of 8-man tag matches. They feel superfluous. They don't. I see them on E every other week, and it just gets so dumb. And they say, you want to say, it's a spot fest. Well, yeah, they are spot fest because what else are you going to do in an 8-man tag match? Oh, how about tell a story? Okay, and that's exactly what they did. Yeah. And then as things just started progressing, and the match just started getting more and more insane, and I mentioned the tandem moves with FTR and the Young Bucks, with was it Dawson doing the super kick, and then Dash and Nick doing the I still call it the shatter machine because I have to learn the new words, but doing the shatter machine and the spot where he wants to tag in his FTR buddy, but the Buck is right there and he's like, just do it, just tag him in, because it's about winning the match, not about whether the perceived respect or whatever. And then of course the spot that Maria can't stop talking about, the Canadian off the ropes.
I can't.
I have, when I went to Dynamite myself last year, I got to meet the Lucha Bros, and I've loved them since. Nice. They're amazing. Mm-hmm. Real talk, I was afraid to meet them, not because they were intimidating, but I didn't actually know if they spoke English, because they're luchadors, they're based in Mexico, they spoke Spanish all the time on Lucha Underground and everything, and I met them and they're speaking fluent English. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I met them. I might have given them a certain comic or whatever, and I just said, you guys are my favorite wrestlers on the planet. And they go, thank you so much. And then as they come into AEW, and they do the original Double or Nothing match with the Bucks, and they do Escalada de la Muerte at All Out, and the 6-man tag with the Laredo Kid, and they just keep impressing me. And Phoenix, gosh dang it, man, that Destroyer should not have worked. Like,
No.
that should have been botched in 3 different ways, from the catch to the release to the landing on the crowd. And if you notice, it actually kind of landed at an angle, which means it could have gone wrong. But because it hit, we're praising it, and that just shows how great Phoenix is. And I love that they won and not FTR and Bucks, because that, again, would have been a rather cheap way, like a certain company does. And
it feeds into that whole theory that people have about the elite effect. And I'm like, you can't say that. You can't say it in that match.
And this is by and large the Butcher and Blade's biggest win.
Yeah, and they needed it. They needed it.
Yeah, they needed it.
Absolutely.
And Lucha Bros, like we said, haven't been together because of the lockdown. So Pentagon and Ray Phoenix getting back together to get this win in epic fashion was perfect. So God bless.
Yeah, like, a lot of the praise that I have for this match goes to the Lucha Bros, because, like, the one, like, team that I've missed during, like, the empty arena shows, or at least the first few months of the COVID shows, was the Lucha Brothers.
Absolutely.
And I think they're talented. I loved the whole Triángulo de la Muerte that they were having with Pac before everything was shut down. I thought that was a really interesting, fascinating idea for, like, a group. I was all down for it, and just to see the Lucha Bros back and to have them win, because they were actually my choice to win, so I was really happy with them, like, winning, and it's just so amazing to see them back in the ring. And again, we've talked about this before, the tag team division is so stacked. Like, I don't think a lot of people, like, outside of AEW understand how amazing and how stacked this division is. So much talent. You're guaranteed, like, a really great match. Consistently, the tag team matches have been the best on any Dynamite, any pay-per-view, any special event. Like,
just look at Revolution.
Right.
I mean, that went from match, why are we having this match, to Mother of God. How great was that match? So and I joke with my buddies on the 450 that, they can't add any more tag teams because it's not, they shouldn't. And then I see certain teams getting totally disrespected on WWE, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, go to AEW. You might be buried for a little bit, but you will get your time to shine, my friends.
But it's also like, how much more stacked did the tag team division get? And that's, like, a legit question that they have.
I can think of a few teams.
Who else could they get?
Okay, right now, right off the top of my head, War Machine.
Unless they do a 3-man tag.
Or if they go the 6-way, then of course Best Friends can phase into that with Orange. And the Elite are one they can do.
Death Triangle could be another one.
Death Triangle, once that third member gets back in, they can be a package deal. And
oh my God. 3 times now.
But they can make it work, and it's just like, I hate what's happening to the Viking Raiders, who are actually War Machine, and because they are one of the most dominant tag teams in the world.
The Viking experience.
Don't even. I'll give them an experience. Oh gosh, but like, if they imagine them in AEW, that's yet another tag team that isn't. If you really look at it, all these teams are different in a certain way, shape, or form. Even Bucks and Private Party act different. Lucha Bros and Private Party are different. If you have War Machine, they're totally different from Butcher Blade. And like, it all, and Jungle Express, it all adds up. And so, oh gosh, this tag team division, mother. Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. And like the dark match that they had, I don't know if you guys caught the one with the Lucha Bros. Like, I felt like any regular day, I would want to be a jobber. Like, not saying a jobber is a bad term to use, but I would like to be in development talent. Yeah. But that day, no, I would have not wanted to be that talent, because they hurt them so hard. The Lucha Bros, it was a hard match to watch. I was like, I wouldn't want to show up that day for work. No, because they're going to be sore to the next time they're on Dark. That's how bad their beating was,
Girl, they're going to be sort of 2021. I mean, we all know that Pentagon can hit, but he slaps as hard as
hard. It's so.
What was it? I think it was a Joe Alfonso. He hit him hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that chest. Did you stop breathing? Did you get resuscitated afterwards? Did it start you back up?
Oh, Pentagon will resuscitate you. Whack!
Oh my God.
And once again, just really quick, like you were saying about the E and stuff like that. It's refreshing to have AEW use talent that's minorities and not use as spots of entertainment, or it's degrading. I'm not saying Lucha House Party isn't
I hate
talented.
Lucha House Party.
But they're
It's-
talented individuals.
It's so
But
sad.
they're a joke, you know.
They are.
And I know AEW,
Mhm.
they're like 77-80% not minorities, and I know they're brand new. And we think they have a lot of minorities, but they're getting there. But to know that the ones they do have, they're showcasing them in a way where it's just let their talent speak. And I appreciate that.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, the
I know
the
they're gonna
talent
get there
speaks.
as it goes on. You know what I mean? Get
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
people, plug them
That'll
in.
be fine. I mean, look at next week. We're gonna get Lucha Bros versus FTR. That's awesome. We're
Yeah.
gonna get
It's gonna be great.
Sunny Kiss, who has won everyone's hearts, versus Cody, who he's fine, and and then you just keep going on and on. They'll get there. Part of it is we can't really blame them per se because they've said that they've wanted certain talent.
Yeah.
And they just can't get like the Cody curse, as we are now calling it. He wanted Chris Bay, and he didn't get Chris Bay. And then certain others, like a lot of people want Thunder Rosa to come on to AEW.
They have like Diamante. They have
Diamante.
They have what's his name? The captain that just was
on. Dean.
No, well, Lee Johnson's good too.
Yeah, Lee Johnson.
Okay, yeah.
And
like
then
Dean Mag or something like that.
Yeah, he's good. You know.
Yeah.
Leroy, the one that was with Private Party. You're hilarious.
Oh yeah, Leroy. Yeah.
Leroy.
He's like Orange Cat. If you enjoy Orange Cassidy, you're gonna enjoy the guy playing the Switch.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
and, Swole.
Yeah, it's just like, and there's so many other talent that they have Christy, whatever it is, the Brazilian girl.
Yeah, Christy James.
Oh,
Christy
yeah,
James.
Mm-hmm. Another one. Like, so there's diversity there, and I'm not sure if they're in developmental. We don't know the backstory, but I hope these people get signed soon.
Yeah.
So that those numbers kind of come down a little bit, because I hate to say the other company has, with their numbers tallied, more diversity, but what they do with them is shameful.
Yeah.
So
it's like with the E, like.
We got to be clear here. Okay, what they do with the talent in general is shameful. I actually saw an interesting stat today. 11 of the 15 championships in WWE right now are held by minorities.
Yeah,
that's stunning. But
it's stunning. But look at the climate.
Yeah, look at the climate. It's a little different.
It's reaction to something, and that makes me upset. And I'm like, you're checking boxes instead of being organic.
Yeah, and my biggest thing is talking about tag teams is the New Day. Are they the best tag team on their roster? Pretty much. Them are the Usos. And yet, their default is, hey, we need a new champion. Let's start on the New Day. That's not cool. That's not fair. And their tag team divisions across all the brands are jokes. So.
I was gonna go into that actually, because what I was gonna say with the E is that, like, with their tag team division, it feels like a lot of their tag teams are just kind of smushed together. They're just kind of like, you.
Yeah.
You go together,
Shinsuke.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah. Hey, Cedric. Oh wait, let's do this in character.
No.
Cedric Alexander.
No.
You fly high. Ricochet, you can fly, I suppose. We're gonna put you together. We're gonna call you Two Fly. Yes. That's such good stuff.
Everything about the creative, because that probably legitimately would happen. Like, there's a darts on a board, and he's like.
Never forget that they put
you're
Ricochet.
Number 1, right? And on the chart, you're number 3. Okay, 1 and 3, you're together.
Yeah. Well, never forget that they put Ricochet, one of the God's honest best wrestlers in the world, against Bork Laser, and he lost in less than 2 minutes.
Still mad about that.
Ricochet, go to AEW. And by the way, he actually quoted a GIF of the Canadian Destroyer off the ropes and did like the emoji with his eyes wide open. And I'm like, there's your sign. He's coming. He's coming.
Yeah, but
the point of that tangent is just to say that
the point?
The tag division in AEW, like, there's purpose, and it helps that a lot of the people in that division did come up and actually have experience in tag team wrestling. Like, tag team wrestling, you have to understand, is like an art in itself. You don't just smush like 2 people together and be like, you're a tag team. Yeah. Like, people train for years.
Yeah.
You have to have like chemistry. You have to have like the synchronicity that makes tag team wrestling so special and unique. Like, there is a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, it's a really, really finesse dance.
Yeah. And notice the only thrown together tag team in all of AEW is, you know who it is. Come on. Say their names.
No.
It's Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon. And they not only,
at least with those two, they have a purpose.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, that's the only one, and they're doing it because of storyline, and they have been showing through their dark matches, which actually have been really good recently. that they aren't
so much fun.
they aren't a tag team, but they're starting to learn. And that's the storyline versus, you know,
Yes.
throwing together two random people. Oh, I don't know. Let me just think. John Cena and everybody. And let's say, hey, let's make them tag team champions, you know, or or Braun Strowman and that 5-year-old referee's son. Yeah, I know what you did there, WWE. And I'm waiting for that kid to come back and get his title so we can get these hands. You know, it's just like that. It's a joke. And now, as many people have noted, ever since Otis got the Mandy storyline, which is, I hate it so much. Where is Tucker? Where is he's been like one match in like the last 3 months? It's like they're heavy machinery. They should be going for the tag team titles, but no, we're gonna focus on the Mandy storyline. Like make it stop. Okay, speaking of making it stop, let's move on. We gotta show it. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Nyla Rose versus who she decided to pin at the same time.
Okay, let's go
Oh,
back
God.
to
Okay.
I'm sorry, Kenzie Page and Killing King. Killing King has actually had pretty decent show outs on Dark too.
Yes.
I think we've seen Kenzie Page once or twice. Maybe once. I can't remember. I didn't like this match because if you're gonna, you could push Nyla Rose, but don't squash talent that we don't really have in the women's roster.
Yeah,
I think it's limited. And you don't need to do this to a very limited roster because of Riho in Japan, and you know, it didn't help me. I like the tease of a manager. I like the little progression. We got something from that. I'm hoping Vicky Guerrero.
Same
what was that?
Actually,
Vicky Guerrero.
I'm actually
Vicky.
thinking Vicky as well.
Excuse
me? Just because of like her involvement with AEW as of late, and she's really well known for being that manager role. Yeah, it works.
I would if I'm just letting you know now, I would be screaming into my phone if this happens. Anyway, so I don't have really much to say about the match. Didn't like it. We know she's a powerhouse. I wish she would do more what she's doing in the indie scene, which is a lot of more high fly spots. She's very good at that, but I don't know why she hasn't got it into the groove. I don't know. She has been gone for a little bit too because of everything. Yeah. So I really hope that we see more of her doing this, but I also want to see the rising of the female talent. As this did happen, Diamante did tweet out to Kenny Omega that this was basically a 5-minute match and put her in a ring and let her do her thing. So I'm hoping that's a Heat storyline because I'm all for it. I'm all for what could be a reunion of some sort, but we can't say her name on this program. But Santana Ortiz and her.
On the 450, we have a reference for this kind of match. It's called Squash out of 5. Because you can't really rate it because it's basically a squash match. And I understand in part why they wanted to do this because Nyla's only had one match after losing the title to Hikaru Shida. And go ahead.
Here's the thing though, like Nyla doesn't need a squash match to really show off like her athletic prowess. Like I really wanted to see like a full-length match because I've seen Nyla in the ring. She's great. She's fantastic. I love what she does.
Her match is real legendary.
I just don't think that a squash match is the best way to really demonstrate that. If you want to
build
her up as like a threat to like the division, you got to get her into like a full-on match.
But I acknowledge that, but that's part of, and we acknowledge part of the problem is that who would you put her up against, because anyone you put her up against is going to lose. And you can't do that with Swole because she's already beaten her recently. That was her first match after losing to Caro. You can't have her beat Caro because that would basically make her number one contender, and we've already seen that match. Britt and Chris are gone. Many of the other women are out of commission. You can't put her against Brandy and Allie because they're doing the weird QT Marshall storyline. Okay, fine. And so it's like who's left?
But you could have put her with Swole, and you could have put up Diamante. She's been there. She was there at both nights on the sidelines. What you could have had was a real match. Nyla could have gotten distracted by Shida, and they could have actually had disqualification. Nobody would have been impacted by it, and they would have all looked okay. And you could have announced a new signing to the women's division. You could have made this match something, and it could have stood out.
Yeah.
Or Abaddon.
Abaddon.
That's just gonna be my default answer to everything. Which woman do you put her up against? Abaddon.
Who should fight Cody next? Abaddon.
TNT title, book it.
Hey, who's Hangman's drinking partner? Abaddon.
Who's Trent's mom driving to their next match?
Abaddon. She's gonna crawl out of the trunk. You know, it's just.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't scare me because I love her, but that would actually scare me.
Like Like imagine it, like all you see is like the trunk like slowly rising. You're like, oh, someone's in the trunk, and then you see Abaddon just go crunk, crunk. It's like, oh, oh!
All right, so we have 2 more matches left. We're almost done, guys. We got
Sure.
Colt Cabana, Brody Lee, and Stu Grayson versus SCU.
Okay, I want to make a note on this before we get started. A lot of people were wondering about the injury that Colt had, the melanoma or whatever it was called, and that was real.
That was
He
real. Yeah.
He was
Okay.
actually wrestling with a legit injury.
Earlier that I forgot what day it was. He was playing Quiplish or whatever it was, the Jackbox games, and Jack was noticing he kept doing this, and he just thought he was fidgety. Come to find out, he had this huge ass thing, and it made sense because he couldn't get comfortable. And he kept saying that. He was like, I can't get comfortable. So it was part of storyline, but damn, that looked ugly.
Yeah, it was. And so he had to wrestle with that. Ooh, gosh.
Yeah, so this match was cool. I love Colt. I love how confused he looked when he came out. Where do I stand? He looked like a small child, not knowing Mark. I love him. I love Colt Cabana. I want him to turn into the heel that we've all seen him do before. I like the dynamic between him and Brody. I like how Brody was picking up the slack because Colt was injured. Grayson stood out in this match. He looked really good.
Grayson's great.
Yeah, he's an amazing wrestler.
If you haven't seen his matchup with Daniels on Dark, watch it. It's really good.
Good stuff.
And I love SCU, but I think I'm getting spoiled and watching Scorpio by himself. Like, so like I feel like the dynamic of SCU is kind of dwindling a little bit, and I'm sad. But I'm not to say that like Frankie and CD are not good together, because when they're on together and they look amazing, especially CD at his age. Like he just looks amazing. And shout out to Windy CD Wrestling because it's CD, but and Colt Cabana, Chicago boy. This match was good. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought, just because of Brody's demeanor, his posture, how he played, how he was trying to take care of Colt. I just found it really entertaining how he really wanted to make sure, he felt like, you're gonna get this win. Look at, you're winning, and it's so creepy and cultish.
Yeah.
Like
Colt Cabana.
Yeah, come into the van, Colt.
For now.
Yeah. For now.
For.
For sure.
That's my thought on the match. I didn't think it was too bad. I wasn't really sure how it would play out, but I actually did I enjoyed it for what it was, what it was worth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was better than it could have been, or that we all thought it was going to be. Because again, this was one of those matches that we really needed on the Fyter Fest card, and they're really playing up the storyline with Colt, and it's good, and it works, and we're all waiting for the doom Colt Cabana, doom from Dark Order, but make it so, Mikey. Make it so. But it was fine. Again, it's more fascinating now to watch that match, knowing that Colt really did have that injury.
Yeah.
Fighting through it, which is exactly the professional he is, which is why we're all happy he's in AEW to help with this and all that. But it was a fine match. I still think they could have waited, but they got it over with. Now we can move on to the next phase, whatever that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was, like you said, it was good for what it was worth. I want to see how stupidly evil Colt will become.
I think it'll be really good. It'll be hilarious.
I want to see a dynamic between him and Kenny when that happens. Like, who's going to be the more intimidating one?
Colt.
Oh my gosh.
Colt.
I did not think of that.
Yeah, because if he's on the dark side and Kenny's kind of halfway there, like, I'm gonna kick your ass. All of a sudden, Colt's gonna be like, bring it, Kenny, and all of a sudden we're gonna get this huge ass match. And I don't know. That's just me wishful thinking. Anyways, we get into
last match.
Chris Jericho and Mr. Freshly Squeezed himself, Orange Cassidy.
This was my match of the night. I mean, I know you all loved that eight-man tag, and it was great. But if I had to pick one of these matches, it have to be Orange, because it did start out a little slowly, but the way they built it with, Orange being ready, going to the ring, and saying best friends, I need to do this alone, and it started off slow, but then it really built up, and then it just started to escalate, and you're like, oh no, he's in the walls. Okay, he got out. Oh man, he almost went for the Judas effect. Oh, he dodged it. Oh, he's going for the punch. Oh, Jericho rolled out of the way. It just goes back and forth and back and forth. I almost lost my mind. Like, I was getting ready for a Twitter rant when the orange juice happened.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, orange juice, baseball bat, and I'm like, you can't end it like this. And Aubrey's like, what are you doing? I know what they're doing. They threw orange juice in his face. Disqualify. And that would have been a horrible way to end the match. Either one of those ways, disqualification or the baseball bat finish. But then, Orange kept going. Best friends got rid of Proud and Powerful, and then Orange started to do new moves. He pulled out the Michinoku driver, which he's never done in AEW, which shows that he does still have moves that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
I just wish they let him win.
Yeah. I know. I feel the same. Like, especially the last 10 or so minutes of that match. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Very intense. And I thought that Orange was going to win. Orange needed that win.
Yes.
He absolutely needed that win. Compared to Jericho, like, if Jericho lost, that would have been fine. He's still Jericho. He can still put over younger talent, still, be at the top of the card. But Orange Cassidy, he's a young rising star. He's arguably one of the most popular stars on the roster right now. Yeah. He needed that win. And I was just so disappointed to see him lose.
Because most of his wins are from tag team matches with the best friends. And then arguably the three biggest matches he's had in AEW were against Phoenix, lost, against Pac, lost, and against Jericho, lost. And it's like, oh, he beat Jimmy Havoc. Sure. But, who else has he beat other than that? I mean, he had a squash match on Dark. Okay, but
that was a really weird squash match.
And again,
it was,
that didn't really jive. But still, the match itself was great. I mean, the way that they built, they were hyping this up to infinity. Okay, with Jericho saying this is one of the best matches I've ever done. I'm like, oh, you've been in a couple of really good matches there, Chris. But by the end, I was like, Chris sold it, Orange sold it. I wish the crowd was there, because imagine freshly squeezed, and when he does the Michinoku driver, or when he's loading up for the pop and then he gets the elbow instead, I could just hear the going, and it's
at Revolution, Orange Cassidy got the most pops of the night. He got the loudest pops of the night aside from Adam Page. He is literally that popular, and we've said this with a lot of matches in the COVID era. Like if only this would have taken place with a crowd. This match is one of them. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Definitely. My only, I don't know. I feel some sort of way about with Jericho, because there was momentum with Pineapple Pete. There's momentum with Orange Cassidy, and he didn't squash, but. I told you guys, I don't know where he can do whatever he wants, or Cassidy. He's still a figure, just like best friends. They can still put on a good show, but the progression of his character, it kind of stopped, and I understand that when Jericho was in bigger matches with the Inner Circle, he's lost them, so in his singles matches, he's won his matches, to kind of make up for his losses, but it still sucks because Orange Cassidy really could have used this.
Yes,
he really could have used this win. Even if it was I don't know how they could have played it off him winning, and keep Jericho from not losing his stuff. But I definitely was a little I really thought it was right there. It was so close, close for him winning.
If anything, if they wanted to make Jericho look strong, they could have had Orange go for his. I want to call it the orange shot now. Go for his punch. Jericho misses. He winds up for the Judas effect. He misses, and then Orange does one of his elaborate pins, and he just barely gets in. Kind of what happened with Wardlow in the Jurassic Express match, where he gets the pin, but he kicks right out. They could have done that with Orange, had him pinned, and Jericho just kicks out afterwards, and Jericho's like, "But I kicked out. Aubrey, you screwed me. This is your fault." And all that could have fed into that.
Yeah, he could have totally tried to push Aubrey. He gets fined or suspended. He tries to file a complaint against Aubrey. They could have played a storyline. Yeah.
I demand a match with Aubrey Edwards. He could sell that. He could sell that. And Aubrey would be like,
"You're the worst ref ever." It's that was so good.
And Aubrey, God bless her so much. When she kicked Jericho's arm, I was just like, that kind of came out of nowhere, but awesome. Aubrey is awesome. Aubrey's everything.
Go ahead, Caro.
I was just gonna say that this, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first match that's overran for AEW?
Yes.
Because it was around 10:01 or 10:02 when it finished.
Yeah. It was a minute or two over. This was the first official overrun match of AEW's career.
Yeah, thank God they put on repeat movies that no one really likes afterwards.
Legend of Tarzan.
So they're we could just go over.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you heard, the internet is abuzz because they have been in the forerunning or writing in between the E's, SmackDown, and Raw for creative writing.
Yeah.
And it's AEW, and that's been something that McMahon himself has been trying to win for a very long time, and I thought it was hilarious that AEW made it in their first year.
I'm calling it right now. If AEW wins.
If AEW gets onto, they have to get onto it first.
Yeah, well, they will. But if they were to win, here's what they need to do. They need to make it a storyline. Okay? And the winner is AEW Wrestling. You know, the Elite start to come out, and Jericho busts through, and he starts doing a speech like, you know, I made AEW, and blah, blah, blah. And then from behind him, who comes out, it's Orange Cassidy. It's like, you stupid idiot, you're ruining my Emmy speech. And he just grabs the Emmy and hits him with it.
I don't think that would happen based on like the logistics of the Emmys, but oh my God, that would have been hilarious.
Who cares? And then like Orange hits him with the Emmy. Jericho falls down. Orange looks to the camera and then walks off. And then the Elite come out and go, thanks, everybody. And then it's just like they carry Jericho out so they can get the show moving.
You should just have the Emmy right in the middle of the table. Nobody says anything. You just pan out. They're all just sitting there staring at it. That's it.
No, even better. Jericho and Orange Cassidy fight for the ownership of the Emmy. So they have an Emmy on a pole match.
Yes! That's good stuff.
Book it.
Book it, Gabe. So.
Yeah, but so overall ratings out of 5 for Fyter Fest.
Oh gosh.
Excuse me. 4 out of 5.
I give it
3.5.
I'm fair with 3.5 to 4.
Yeah.
Because again, night 1 was totally superior.
Yeah.
And it showed because they had 3 title matches on night 1 and 1 title match on night 4, which wasn't even the title match that they advertised originally. Not blaming you, Moxley. We're just saying.
Yeah.
Night 2 had clearly the inferior set of matches between, you know, the Nyla squash, which of course we did have a squash on night 1, and everything. But I'm fair with 3.5 to 4. That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go like 3.75 because I feel like if I would go see Fyter Fest night 2, would I have been satisfied? I would have been satisfied with the Lucha Bros match. You know what I mean? Just coming into that, like, so I would feel like I had my money's worth. So like when I judge something, I always like, will I have enjoyed this? Yeah, I would have enjoyed it. But yeah, definitely. It would have been a whole different story. We probably would have given it a higher rating. We probably would have had 4s if, you know, Mox and Cage probably would have fought. But we'll see for Fight for the Fallen. Looking
next week looks so stacked. It's like
I love the card for next week. There's so much potential. I am so hyped for it. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great.
So thank you guys for coming on. Anything you guys want to plug on your channels, where you guys can find everything you're doing?
So and you're gonna put this like in the box.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So I have a Twitter, I have a YouTube channel. I also occasionally write for Wrestlejoy. We're a new website where we focus on the positivity in pro wrestling, which is something that is very needed, especially with social media nowadays. So I've written like a few stories for them, so you can check them out below. And
a certain cowboy might have like retweeted something.
Certain cowboy, no big deal.
Certain cowboy, but we'll have some links in the description below so you guys can see everything that Caro has done, and Todd.
I again have the 450 Wrestling Podcast, which we air every Sunday/Monday depending on the week on the theatterhaven.net. I don't remember anymore. I work for a lot of websites. I really do.
We'll link you on top.
She'll link us, and then stay tuned. I'll be writing more for Beat 'em Up, including a certain article that has all heart and no pulp, and it's gonna be fun. And Maria, if you want me to come back for next week to do a Fight for the Fallen, you can count on me.
Same here. I love doing this. This is great.
Yeah, and like you said, Mr. Cody Blonde Hair Rhodes. Liked your article on All In. I did on Flip, and he tweeted my stuff. So we are definitely people who love wrestling. If you guys enjoy what you see here, you'll definitely enjoy what they have done on their channels. So definitely come back, watch us next time. You'll hopefully be seeing more of us. So we're just 3 goofballs. We're AEW friends for life.
That's us, absolutely.
Top 1% friends for life.
No. The top 1% friend in your.
All right, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. We hope to see everybody in a wrestling arena sometime soon. Bye.
Please and
Bye,
please.
y'all. Drink water. Stay
I do-
hydrated.
I do that actually.